Well, good morning, everybody. 25th of September, and it's a Monday, and things are just fantastic, sort of. It's a bit overcast and not much wind, and the mini fleet just left the Vendée Globe Marina. There's none left. The last one went about 5 minutes ago, so they're off today, heading across the Atlantic ultimately. So good luck to all of them. We'll be following that with great interest. And so then today, there's not a lot of news in the tweets and stuff, but yesterday we forgot to put Brian's report up, unfortunately, which went up this morning. Brian's daily report came into me, and we were changing the system so Jane could set up a bit of translation and a few other things, and I sent it across to her but failed to tell her, and it was the weekend. It was a long story, so sorry to Brian and the people that were waiting for that. We'll usually get that out every day, so stand by. There'll be another one later today. Okay, so straight into the tracker. There's some interesting things going on, and now that we've gone this sort of wide format, we can actually see the leaderboard. So we can talk a bit more about that occasionally, and certainly right now it shows you, in case you'd forgotten, all of the boats down here and the various colours on the of their boats on the tracker. So that helps you a bit, and we have just asked again about getting the labels, the name labels, put back on the track, and hopefully that might happen this week. So without going forward, because this, I won't talk about the luck of Penduic, but Penduic is looking pretty interesting. Right now, we're at the tail end, Godspeed, doing 4.7 knots. They've got just enough breeze to keep moving. They'd prefer to have more, and I wish they did have more. But they did manage 135 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So that's okay. And there's a bit of breeze that should keep them in touch. I mean, if we quickly sneak forward on this, if I blow this up, we can have a quick look just at what weather they're likely to get in the next couple of days. There's midnight tonight. The wind has increased by sort of in tomorrow afternoon. The wind is still there. 27th, the wind's filling in, so they should be underway again shortly, getting out of that 4 knot situation and getting back up to 6s and 7s maybe. So they should be able to keep up. So that's the story there. The good news is that there's a good gradient of breeze there, and Explorer really can go as fast as White Shadow when there's breeze. Okay, so they lucked out a bit going through the Canaries. Currently doing 8.1 knots, and that gives them 13th in line on us. Still, everything's the same. They're 13th on everything, one from the back end of the fleet. But they'll be happy to have that speed, because if we come across to White Shadow, she's doing 8.1 knots as well. So they're neck and neck. But in days run, okay, Explorer did 157 nautical mile days, and White Shadow did 178 nautical mile days. But now they should hopefully stay up, so we can really see what's going to happen with the performance of the boats in the days ahead. They should all get similar weather, because it's like trade wind weather over quite a large area, and it's probably blowing 15 to 20, maybe 25 in there. So they could or should have spinnakers up, because the apparent wind will be down, and so all doing well. So Evrika with Dominic, 8.1 knots as well, same sort of speed as the 57s, 186 nautical mile day though, so that's okay for them, and 10th all the way down the line, second in Sayula class, which is pretty cool. Excuse me. Sterner, 8.3 knots, going faster than everyone else, and 168 nautical miles in the day, 12th line on his 12th IRC, and 4th in adventure. So this is now what I call the tail end group. That's the tail enders. They're doing okay, and they're expected to, you can see they'll stay in that breeze for some time. Well, having said that, let's just confer with the weather. So if I come through to 24 hours, there's 24 hours. It's actually building. So 24 hours time, they'll be down here. As soon as you see the orange, it's 28 knots, 28 to 32 knots. Sea state's probably around 2.5, 3 meters still. Should still be it's 3 meters. So they'll like that. A little bit of surfing going on for tomorrow when they get there. And then the next day on the 27th, this is sort of 2 days from now, still got the breeze. So they'll make good speeds. They'll be getting 8 knots, so a couple of 100-mile days, which is good. They need that to get to Cape Town on time. So back to today's weather, and we've got Galliana with Secure going at 7.9 knots, but a 204 nautical mile day. They were flying yesterday, so they'll be very happy with that. It's going to be hard to hold them back. They're just going to clear out now. So no problems there. And Outlaw slowing down a little bit because you can see they're sailing into a lot less wind, but still 184 nautical miles in the day, 7th on line honours and so on. So yeah, this is, I wouldn't, well, anyway, yeah, he's over to the east here, and it's a good time to be over here somewhere. You can see Neptune's slowly pulled away from the coast, getting over, which is what people usually do for the doldrums. Could be considered to be caught on the inside. So let's just have a look, and let's hope Tapio stays on the inside, and then Explorer might be able to catch up. So, but they should know what's going on. So if we come forward a day, there's tomorrow. Okay, on that basis, Outlaw is going to start to slow down. But Tapio, let's have a look at where 200 miles is. You'll probably do another big day. There's 200 miles, so he'll still be in this area here somewhere and still have the breeze, but Outlaw is definitely going to slow down, so Tapio will probably catch up. That's in 24 hours, and if we go forward to the next day, that's getting closer. Oh, there's a bit of breeze coming back, so Tapio will do all right with that. He'll be on this side, so he's still moving, and Outlaw should pick up again and just drift. So I think you'll see Tapio take some time out on Outlaw here. Let's just make a prediction. So if we say Tapio's there, Outlaw's there, so you could say that's bow to bow. So Tapio is currently 123 nautical miles behind Outlaw. Let's see where they are in a couple of days. Someone remember that, 123 miles behind. I reckon he's going to close that gap, but we will see. So over this side of the track, first of all, bring the weather back to today, real time. Neptune doing 5.6, and that's pretty clear as well. You can see there's not a lot of breeze where he is right now. He's trying to get across, running with the wind, so big kite's up, that big Neptune kite folding around, and did 129 nautical miles in the day, so not as far as the others. Plus, that's not in the line of the course. He's done the distance, but not maybe so much towards Cape Town. But still all okay. Still 6 line on a 6 IRC and 5th in flyer class. Then we've got L'Esprit Equip, 8.4, 200-mile day. He'd be happy with that. And interestingly, he said that in his tweet, I think, or a message, that he's just sailing straight line. It can be so important. You get all the advantages when you sail straight line of extra speed when the boat's doing the same speed. When you start to zigzag all over the place like this, probably important if you're looking for wind. But if you can hold a straight course, you're going to move a little bit further ahead than the guy who's going in S-bends everywhere. And that appears to be what they're doing. So 5th in line on this 5th IRC, and quite a good day's run. And not very far ahead. Let's just peg that out to about here. So 180 miles in front, less than an average day or an average day sail. So Spirit Equip only a day behind Translated, currently doing 7.5, 178 nautical mile day. And they will be, they're right on the edge of the wind band, but they're still holding first IRC, first flyer class, and so on. So yeah, doing okay. But Maiden sitting right on their bow, 7.3 again, 194 nautical mile day. So they're going hammer and tong against each other, and they'll certainly be in VHF range, but I don't know whether they'll see each other from there. But that's how it goes. And then, interestingly, check out Penduic. He is in a beautiful position right now, which I'll show you in an enlarged version in a minute, because they've got breeze. This is actually where the doldrums is, and they seem to be going straight through. The wind direction is probably not what it's showing here. It's showing a sort of a south-southeasterly, but I think it might be more of a direct southerly, because Penduic would for sure be going hard on the breeze, or maybe cracked off a little bit. She's a big, powerful boat, goes to windward really well. They need to get south. Maybe they are reaching across it, I'm not sure. But by the speed, 7.1, that's about their hard on the breeze type speed by the look of it. Anyway, hopefully we'll get a little tweet and they'll tell us what's going on. But the good news is there's wind, and it's not slowing them up. It's only 156 miles in the day, but it's filled in again now. So they went slow a little bit. Spirit of Helsinki, 7.5 knots, 200-mile day. Heading straight down, and we'll now have a look at this. Hang on, we'll get rid of that, and I'll just start to show you what's going on here with the doldrums maybe. first of all, before we go there, here it is here. There's some interesting indicators you can use here. For instance, if we go cloud cover, you can see the cloud cover is distinctly different through here. There's not traditional clouds like these ones, but when you see all these rain patches and movements, that's going to show you, if we go to rain, you can see here, the rain is all about the changes in pressure and temperature, between the hot water and the cold and everything. This is all thunderstorm territory. So this is typically what we're looking at in the doldrums is what we got. There's a lot of rain down here, bits and pieces. So that's that one. Cloud cover sort of matches that, obviously, but at the same time, not too distinct. There's rain in there. But the good news, when we just come back to pure wind, you can see now, you can see if I get rid of this, okay, that's still 10 degrees north. There's the equator way down here. This is the doldrums area here. And check this out. Everyone's coming through this area of strength with the southeasterly trades that have pushed up and joined with effectively the northeasterly trades. So Penduic is sitting in a line of breeze right now that could really benefit them greatly. Spirit of Helsinki going into no man's land a bit, but if we start pushing this forward, now you can see what's going on. I'm going to build it up a little bit bigger so you can see what's happened. You've got this beautiful ladder here. We call that a ladder. Snakes and ladders here. You can have snakes going down this way, ladders going up. And as we pull that forward, it's holding, and it's going to, or Marie will keep moving, probably in the same direction she might take, but I doubt it. So she's now coming over here. This is till midnight tonight. She's still got a bit of a breeze column there. And even when we get through to, this is the next day, so she might do 150, say 170 mile day, and that's going to put her right on the edge here. There's 170. So she's coming down here. She's still holding on to this southeasterly trade, right? And that's pretty impressive. So then I got to get rid of that. Come back to the weather here. So that's day one. I'll just build this up a bit. And you can see where the trades are right underneath her. So if I keep pushing this through to day two, okay, not quite there yet, but that's pretty much day two. So that's about 300. The 2 days, she should get 380 if she's lucky. And if she's held the same distance, there's 300. If she's held the same distance, there's 400. So somewhere in here, she may just hang on to that breeze, that pressure gradient, before you get this little bomb here. See, all this is all coming out in the same direction. She's stayed away from that. If she can do that, look what's below her. There's just that's it. She's in the trade. She'll slowly hook around, and it's all about sailing to the wind direction at that stage. So it'll be interesting to watch. The next 2 days could be vital, mainly because the other boats behind are not going to make it through. They'll get caught up in some of this and slow down. So she's in line to make a break, forgetting about what's going to happen to the middle fleet. By the time the middle fleet get down there, they'll probably be blocked by all this anyway. But Penduic is looking to have really cottoned on to something. This is where the rich get richer and the poor guys down the back there. But anyway, that's part of the fun and part of what this Ocean Globe Race is all about. So that's going to be interesting to watch. If we just come back to it here now, we can look at a couple of other things. There are some mild currents around in this part of the world. And you can see here that's going to come from the west, not affect them. If Penduic was over here, she'd get a head current that's nearly a 1 knot head current, but she's just missed it. So I don't think that'll slow her up at all. It might do it here, but yeah, Penduic is really in a good position. If she gets a bit more luck and holds that through, she's going to get a break for sure. She'll pull away from the others behind. Okay, so just to cap that, let's look at what's going to happen with this part of the fleet as the weather comes through. So that's what they've got now. Maiden and Translated are right on the edge of it, but I think they'll keep moving. And then if we come forward half a day, going light. So they're going to slow down, but Penduic, you can see she's got breeze. So, and the same with Helsinki. We come forward a little bit by tomorrow afternoon, and as I said, Penduic will get into the trades maybe, and Helsinki might get bogged down, could be down here somewhere, so slow down. So really Penduic is looking like a bit of an opportunity here. And certainly then Maiden and so on, they've only probably made at that stage, it's about 2 days ahead, they've probably only made a 250 miles maybe. So they might be down here somewhere, but certainly going slow compared to Maiden, compared to Penduic. So I think the other thing left to do now is probably just to go through the leaderboard, seeing we can see it. And if I bring this up here, we can talk about where it's looking, ETAs and so on. We'll go for line on us now and just get the ETAs. Okay, so this is stacked top to bottom, front to back on the fleet, so you pretty much know what's going on. Penduic, Spirit of Helsinki, Maiden, Translator, the Spirit of Quip, and so on. And their ETAs now, based on their current velocity made good, is 16th of October. So they're going to get 3 weeks or so in port based on their current speed, which is kind of cool. By the time we get down the bottom, Evrika looking like the 3rd of November, which is only going to give them a few days in port, but their average speed is still slow. And I'm just want to clarify, we know this is an average speed. The velocity made good is an average speed, but we're not sure whether it's from start to where we are now or whether it's from 4 or 5 days ahead. And I've got a feeling, we've just asked for a clarification, I've got a feeling this is actually from 4 or 5 days ahead to get a reasonable average, and then it comes up with it. So anyway, and the good news is that Explorer is due to arrive on the start day, so that's good. And Godspeed, they'll get there eventually, maybe before Christmas. So anyway, that's the line on us, front to back, and approximately ETAs. IRC gets a bit more interesting, and to try and explain this. In fact, I won't do it yet. We were just waiting for another clarification. I'll try and give you a rundown of how the IRC rating works. But effectively, the first thing you can try and get your head around is that the actual elapsed time, based on the velocity made good at the moment, is 38 days for translated 9. And then on the corrected time, it extends it out to a corrected elapsed time of 42 days. So she, on her handicap, she's taking longer. That's because her rating is 1.120. So you've got to, add on that extra 1.120, which extends the time. And that means that someone's got a smaller rating, and their arrival time could be their actual time, could be actual elapsed time could be 42 days, which is actually quicker than the corrected time. And so if they had a rating of 1000, you can see how the handicap system works very simply. But there's no one with a rating of 1.00. Everyone's got a 1 and a bit. So anyway, all part of the fun. Okay, so I think that's probably enough for now. We'll just look at the comments here. I'll come back on here and see if there's any comments. Not many. It's Monday morning. Everyone's gone to work. Morning from Plymouth. G'day, John. You forgot to check on Triana again. Oh, jeepers. Okay, I'm going to go back. Good morning from Ireland. That's because she's out to the left, and I never quite... let's see where Triana is and what she's doing. Here we go. Thanks for pointing that out, John. Here we go. Oh, right out the side, yeah. I'm only focused on the mainstream. So she's flying 8.9 knots, 200 nautical mile day, 8th in line on us, 7th in IRC, and 1st in adventure class. Yeah, she's way ahead of adventure class. They're doing okay. They, as you know, they don't have power, and we're keeping an eye on them, even though I didn't bring them up on the tracker. So all is good. You can follow their tweets. They should be putting tweets up. So that's it. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll get Brian's report up on time this time. So see you later. Thanks.